Hey Run Junkies, here it is, my last installment in my Walt Disney World Marathon weekend recaps. This is for the marathon itself, 26.2 miles of absolute fun. And of course, Saturday being what it was with the canceled half marathon and the recent engagement and all of that crazy that happened that night, by the time I got to the marathon start, my legs were ready. And I'm happy to say that I was smiling the whole race. I had a great time, and I even stopped at the finish line to kind of dance with Pluto. I don't think anybody got pictures of it, but I still had fun. But I have to mention something that I brought up in a weekend update back in December about the weather for this weekend. I think somewhere along the lines I said, it's going to be hot. Remember when I said that? If you were obsessive compulsive about the weather leading up to marathon weekend, you probably noticed that the weather ranged from 30 degrees to 80 degrees. Maybe it would be gorgeous and sunny, and maybe it would rain. Maybe it would rain on Saturday, maybe it would rain on Sunday, maybe it wouldn't rain at all. After a while, I just stopped paying attention. So I planned and packed for a little bit of everything. All of my run costumes had a cold weather option, but the weather changed a lot more than I had originally anticipated. After they canceled the half marathon on Saturday, a huge cold front moved through Florida. We spent a good chunk of our day at Animal Kingdom, and you could tell throughout the day the temperatures just kept dropping. It was hard to believe we were still in Florida. In fact, a lot of the shops in the kingdom were pulling out racks of cold weather gear, so sweatshirts, ponchos, hats, and gloves. In fact, the best money I spent the whole weekend was on a knit hat and a pair of gloves. I've been training in temperatures colder than what happened on race day, but I'm usually prepared for it and I have a thicker layer. I grew up in northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin, and I've spent the better part of my adult life here in Denver. And I will say that that race morning was cold. What I was not prepared for was the wind that just ripped right through me. Now, when I got to the race start and I'm in the starting area with gear check and all of that, I felt fine. By the time I got to my corral, I started presenting signs of hypothermia. I couldn't form a coherent thought. My brain was fuzzy. I was shivering so much, I could barely hold my phone. And as you can see from this clip, I really wasn't well. I actually started feeling drowsy and wanting to lay down and fall asleep. All of these are signs of hypothermia. This is when I started getting scared. I was afraid that I wasn't even gonna make it to race start because I was gonna have to go to medical. So in order to combat that fear, I started playing a game with myself. I developed a train of thought. Just get to the race start. As soon as the race starts, you get to start moving. When you start moving, you'll warm up. Once you warm up a little bit, the sun's gonna come up, and then from there, everything will be fine. Get to race start, sun up. And I just repeated that train of thought over and over and over again. All of those things ultimately happened. I was able to positively reinforce myself to just get that far. Once I did start moving though, the day got better and better. I walked the first 3 miles and every split from there on was negative. So I negative split the whole marathon. I got pictures of every mile marker, and there were a lot of characters out there that you wouldn't see normally in the parks. Of course, the challenge with this race, like any other marathon, is there are some parts of the course that are, well, boring. The backstage areas are fun because you get to see behind the scenes, but I'm pretty sure that every marathon has to go by some kind of water treatment plant at some point. Running through the parks after they had opened was so much fun. That started for me at Animal Kingdom. The parks had opened by that point, and so the crowd started to build and just got more and more enthusiastic as the race wore on and as I hit each park. So as the crowd grew, so did my spirits. Now, I did want to stop for an adult beverage and World Showcase, but coming up on 6 hours for the marathon, I was done. I just wanted to get to the finish line. And I knew that the balloon ladies weren't all that far behind me. I had so much fun with this marathon. It was the most fun marathon experience I've ever had, and with the weekend in general. Run Disney does such a great job putting on this event, and it's what keeps us coming back year after year. Next week, I will give you some final thoughts about my training personally for Walt Disney World Marathon weekend, lessons learned, how I'm going to apply it in upcoming races. But in the meantime, here it is, my favorite memories from Walt Disney World's Marathon. Please enjoy.
Corral A! It's the marvelous Corral M! Yes, indeed it is! the party corral. There's something else, wait a minute, there's something else that begins with M, but I can't figure out what it is.
Okay!
I gotta know. Anybody remember the very first marathon? Are you serious? Amazing. Oh, wait a minute. Who's not running their first marathon? 10 seconds. Oh, in fact, you know what? Let's send them on the way. To do that, I give you Mickey Mouse. 3, 2, 1, go!
Come up, we are about 2.5 miles in, and I'm starting to warm up. I can not really feel my face yet, but we're close.
Caution runners, speed
That's
bumps.
Magic Kingdom.
Caution runners, speed bumps.
Caution runners, speed bumps ahead. I've been walking the first 2 miles, and honestly, I may keep that pace. I've been nailing 14-30 miles just by walking, and I think I'm gonna keep doing that. I'm gonna stop and take a picture.
Up on the Riley.
Magic Kingdom.
I stopped right in front of someone.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Do we know where he is?
Castle's behind me. We're really, really close. I'm gonna try not to. Oh wait, there are photo pass people. I gotta get my picture taken. Ready? Getting my picture taken. Again. There it is. There's the castle. Here I am. Hey, Chris.
Oh, probably wondering why.
Feeling good. Halfway mark.
Beyond the trees, above the clouds, oh, I see before me new horizon. I wanna know, can you show me? I wanna know, just
much worse. There's another baseball diamond. ESPN Sports. Baseball diamond. It was cool. I have to say this is pretty cool. Coming up on 20 miles. Just a 10K left. We're gonna make it. We are gonna make it. Sweet. Come on.
Looking good. Come on, everybody, let's get up that hill. I know you can do it.